Yeah, good morning. About what, 2 years ago? I done my first podcast in Milton Keynes with Marvin Herbert and went there with a guy called Christian Morgan. I didn't even know who Marvin Herbert was. I didn't know it was, but went there. Nice guy. I thought, what a nice guy. I mean, it was Christian Morgan's KON TV. He introduced me to him, and I sat there for what, 2 hours, just spilling my life story, and then I came in for another one. Yeah, it was fantastic, and I like Marvin. And I remember the second time I went there, Marvin lifted up his shirt and wanted me to punch me in the tummy, and I wouldn't have done that. I mean, I couldn't do that. I couldn't punch like something like that in the tummy. Just in case you broke his ribs, went too high and you broke his ribs, which is quite easy. You can bang, yeah. So I went, no, sweet man. And he went, come on. I went, nah, sweet. And then I see other people doing it. And when I see, listen, Marvin Herbert has got a fantastic workout. He works out really, really good, yeah. He trains, I should imagine, nearly every day. Uh, anybody that wants to train with Marvin, and then you'll become something. Yeah, it isn't that easy, mate, to do the workouts he does. Yeah, but the other day when I see him at the boot sale, I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? He's like, he looks different, man. He looks different. He's not looking after himself. He's got that jug. That jug wants to be washed, mate. You want to wash that old jug, Marvin, and going around there and just doing what it was, talking about his life and this, that, and the other, and saying, no, I can't say this, I can't say that, but say that could get nicked. He said a lot anyway, in podcasts, but anyway, that's just what people do on podcasts and videos, yeah. But when I was seeing him with the old boy, years ago, he'd have bashed that old boy right up bad, you know what I mean? But I'm pleased he held himself back. He was on camera. He was on video. It wouldn't have been good. I mean, everybody see it on YouTube. It wouldn't be good giving that guy a clump. He'd have been well nicked for it. You know what I mean? But the old boy made himself a bit busy, just saying, "Well, gives you the rights to walk around taking pictures." Well, you know, this is a like car boot sale. It's not like you're in Parliament or something like that. It's a car boot. People can come around and do what they want to do. Take pictures. It's not like as if it's private property. You know what I mean? It's like, So, yeah, he's the guy went a bit over the top with Marvin, saying this, that, and the other. And Marvin held himself really well. I mean, I wouldn't have liked to see Marvin club the guy because he'd been well nicked, you know what I mean? But Marvin held it back. And listen, Marvin tries to help people out. He tries to help kids and this, that, and the other, but it doesn't ever work for him. It doesn't never work for him. He goes over the top sometimes with it. And I've seen him go to schools. I've seen him go to police stations, talk to police officers, go to school, talk to kids. And even all this, he's not gone forward. You know what I mean? He's not really progressed in what he does. But he is a strong person. He needs someone to get behind him. You know what I mean? He needs someone professional to get behind him and help him because he's got a lot there. He can talk. He really can talk well. He's a good talker, Marvin. And he puts his words together really, really well. Not like me. I'm just a straight Londoner. You know what I mean? I just say straight words, which I don't even know some of them. But Marvin seems to know everything. He's well educated in that respect, yeah. But I'm only doing this quick video for people to help Marvin out. Help him out, give him a leg up. You know what I mean? Anybody that's got some ideas and they want Marvin to sort of push it forward, get hold of Marvin, talk to him. You know what I mean? He can talk to Marvin and he would do it, mate. He would do it. If he thinks there's something there, he would do it. Help him out. Help him out. There's a lot of people that listen. It's like everything, isn't it? I mean, I do my videos. I've done over 1,000 videos, yeah. I don't do many podcasts. I should start, But, when you're walking down Oxford Street, Chelsea, places like that, or even your local areas, there's people that recognise you, yeah? But in a way, because of what they do, they watch your podcast, a bit frightened the way you are. They don't want to come up and say hello. You know, if anybody out there sees me, come and say hello. You know what I mean? A little sign, something, and or whatever. And the same with Marvin. There's a lot of people out there that see Marvin, that professional people, that really want to talk to him, but are too frightened to go up to him. Go up to him and talk to him. Help him out. You know, give him a leg up. You know what I mean? The guy, listen, the guy is quite educated. Yeah, he needs a leg up. You know, he needs a bit of help. You know, he's trying. You know, but he's trying and tried, and then he gets involved with other things. You know, and lets the side down. Yeah, he lets the side down, but he needs someone professional to get hold of him to give him that leg up. You know what I mean? Listen, if I had any sort of like, if I had money around me, and I thought, yeah, you know, get Marvin into the kids thing, you know, to help kids out, to get kids off the street. Everybody, Terry Ellis, they all do it, mate. About Terry Ellis, I'm gutted about his prostate cancer. I hope he pulls through it, mate. I mean, it's a big shock to be told that you've got prostate cancer. You know, is it as bad as what they say it is? I don't know. You know what I mean? But sometimes you just got to fight it, ain't you know, and can you fight prostate cancer? I don't know, but if anybody can, he can. Yeah. So all the best, Terry Ellis. But you know, I mean, Terry Ellis, look how forward he's gone. Look how well he's done, Terry Ellis. He's got everybody behind him, followers behind him. He's done that. This prison turnout, which I don't like anyway. It isn't really prison, but he's got into that. Marvin should be the one to get into this sort of thing as well. You know what I mean? But I know Terry Ellis has done a bit of bird. Marvin's done a bit of bird. But Terry Ellis should give Marvin a leg up, put him in there, you know, because he's quite good. He'd be quite good in there, Marvin. And they should let Marvin do a set, you know, or a couple of sets about inside prison. There's quite a few people that should do sets about inside prison. I don't really. I mean, I've been in and out of prison all my life. You know what I mean, and I've been in and out of prison badly beaten and everything. You know what I mean, but certain times I've been in prison, prison's been a lot different to what it is today. But I've got to say something, yeah. When I was in prison years ago, in the 70s and the 80s, more the 70s really, and up to the 80s, prison in 10 years was fantastic. I.e., from about 72 to 80s, prison was good. You know, when I say good, I mean, like, when I say good, I mean, when I went into Albany prison, even though Albany prison was a dangerous prison to go to in them days, but you had everything that you wanted. You wouldn't believe the things you could have sent in, like carpets, like curtains, you know, like bedspreads, like pillows, you know, pillowcases, you know, and record players and big hackers, radios, Robert's Ramblers, and them sort of things. It wasn't no DVDs and all that sort of thing. That never come into it. I mean, you know, but you had everything else. I mean, to have a record player, a Pi record player, Sunny record player, Philips record player, and to chase it in the wall from the battery, chase it in the wall to the electric. You know, everybody should do it. The schools knew you do it, but we used to hide it. But the schools knew you do it, but they let it go. Yeah, certain people don't like, obviously are in trouble. But prisons in them days was good. I mean, you know, you could go down to the canteen. You could order big legs of lamb, chickens, roast beef, and all that, and cook it. Stoves. You know, they were good in them times. You know, and I think when you give people too much, then they abuse it, and then prison don't become prison no more. It's finished, yeah. Chelmsford Prison was the best prison that ever. I mean, if we done a Channel 4, whatever it was, yeah, If we done one about Chelmsford Prison, how it was, wouldn't believe it. Honestly, it was like something crazy. You know, to get anything you wanted, and I'm on about anything. The only thing I don't think that anybody had in there was a gun. I should have warned you, but kind of think it shouldn't have been that hard to go with a gun. It was mad in there, mate. It was mad. You know, I mean, people, you had proper people in there, you know. I know I keep on about Ronnie Bender. I know I keep on about Jimmy Tibbs. I know I keep on about Alan Dixon, you know, Terry Millmans and all them people, and Fraser, Tony Lawrence's, and all these people, Peter Lyons's, you know, Mickey Green, Tony Edlin, all these sort of people were proper old gangsters, yeah. And you go in there as a boy and you come out as a man, you know what I mean? As a big, powerful man, you know, because not powerful in your body, but powerful in your mind. And these people you meet in there, mate, they're old legends. You know, most of them are dead now, but they're old legends, you know, legends that I was lucky to see. You know, I was lucky. People think, oh, what do you mean you're lucky to be in prison seeing the people? Well, I was, because there were books about these people. I'm one of the only ones left, perhaps, out of the old timers. There isn't many. There isn't many of us left, yeah. John Massey, I think he's still about. He done a big podcast the other day. Chrissy Lambiano, he's still about, you know. There's a few of us about, but I think I've done a little bit. I'm doing maybe not so much as John Massey. John Massey's been about a bit, John. I mean, you read his book, listen to his stories. It's just, you know, heart. You know, it does the old heartthrob, mate. It's a bit bad that John Massey's one. But even if you listen to the podcast or the video, it's good. I don't think any of them have been through what I've been through. As from a child, you know. Well, that's why my book is going to be just over the top. My book. So my book is just the one book ever. You're never going to get another book like my book. It's tearjerker, mate. It's a tearjerker. You know what I've gone through and how I pulled out of it all. You know. Obviously, some, you know, like nightmares. It's a nightmare thing, isn't it? We all have it, you know. But do you know? I was talking the other day to my mate Terry. It's not about institutionalised. It's about what they do to you in prison. Yeah, how they make you. I can come into my flat. Yeah, I've got electric 24/7. I've got heating 24/7. Just beautiful place. Yeah. But I can come in here, say, 5 o'clock, turn the lights out. It's dark outside anyway. Turn the lights out, a little bit of heating, and sit there till 3s and 4s in the morning in the dark. Just thinking about whatever, you know, thinking about what I've been through in my life. And it's madness, you know. And when you think about Ronnie Bender, doing that thing called astral projection, and you know it's something that people really don't believe, but the people that believe in it, it actually happens. Yeah, I mean, I should imagine that in my time, in my old times, but there was a lot of older boys that are all dead now. Yeah, but I should imagine most of them have done a thing called astral projection, whereas you lay down in your cell. And, you know, 3 hours later, your door's going to open, but you lay there, but you don't go to sleep. And wait, and the door opens up, and you say to yourself, where have I been? What have I been thinking about? You know, and for Ronnie Bender, he talks about astral projection, and when he talks to Ronnie Bender about astral projection, he makes you get right into it, gets really, really into it. You know what I mean? Like. You know, I think he married a Filipino woman or something like that. I'm quite sure actually, from over them ways, yeah. But she waited for him about 20 years, and he used to astral project nearly every day, you know, and be with her. You know, but people go, nah, listen to me, right? It happened. It happened, and it happens. You know, and I actually feel that I astral reject it quite a lot. When I come in, I feel like this out. Just one of them times when I turn the lights out, low heating, and just sit there and go into it, yeah. And it's a trance going to a different, yeah, and then realise it's 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and you've been there since 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. It's mad, and it happens, you know, and it happens, and in prisons like Chelsea prison, it was like Albany prison was crazy, i.e. that everybody on my wing, C wing, well, not everybody. I wasn't on it. I'm one of the people who wasn't on it. I was like anti-drugs, but a lot of people were on acid tabs. You know, brought in by the Bowie Brothers. You know, and they was all running around like lunatics at night time, where the screws couldn't bang them up. You know, in Albany you had a centre. Every wing had a centre, glass centre, and the screws used to run up and down the stairs, telling people to bang up, and it was all out of their nut. You know, like you could only get one out every 10 minutes on the spurs. So you got two shells there, and one down the middle, shaped like a spur, and you get one person comes out every 10 minutes or whatever, you know, and it shuts off at night at a certain time. But to try and get someone back in the cell after they've been out 5 or 10 minutes is virtually impossible when on acid. They're all running around like nutcases. So then the screws got to come up, chuck all the locks on, and then come up and take the geezers down the block or whatever they're going to do. Albany was mad. Albany was a mad, mad prison, mate. But a good prison. I mean, you know, I loved, I loved the people. Some the same thing again. I love the people in Albany. You know, Paul Seaborn, Pat Adams, John Parky Barry, Laurie Gibbons, Laurie Mann, Peter Kelly. I mean, you know, there was Terry Ludlow. There was George Davis. There was so many in there, you know, in their faces that you could go on and on and on, you know. And prison to me was an experience of meeting these sort of people, yeah. And always, and I always like when I sit down, I think about all these guys and what they went through. And I always talk about Ronnie Bender because he went through a lot, mate. I mean, say it was Christian Lambiano. They all went through so much for so little. You know, as it happens, I've got to say it, a lot of people in prison go through so much for so little. You know, big ideas, conspiracies, you know, and then all, if not conspiracies, robberies, 20 grand, bump, get nicked, go and get a 17 years. And then you think to yourself, is this worth it? You know, all us gangsters running around with nice suits, nice rings, watches, you know, and go out to clubs on the snozzle, enjoying your life, and then, you know, all the girls will wrap around you before you know where you're banged up and you've got 17 years. So you have 1 year out having a fantastic time, and you have the next 10 years banged up. Is it worth it? I don't know. Some people say that, you know, it's the same with me. I say to myself, well, I've had a good life. I lived a good life for a long time, 10, 12 years, yeah. I've had everything, houses, flats, fucking cars, beautiful woman, kids, everything, you know what I mean? But now, I've got nothing like that. I've lost all my kids. I lost all my beautiful women that I was with, their mothers to my kids, you know. I don't see them. They hate my guts, really, in certain ways. Because I ain't a good man, you know what I mean? I ain't a good man. I ain't a man that's, I've gone out to get what I can for the kids and the family and this, that and the other. But I get put away and all the imagination goes then what they're doing, what they're up to, and then you come out like a lunatic, and it all goes. You lose everything over your stupid ways, and and we go to ourselves, yeah, she's at it. But if they was away for a week, 7 days, would we be at it? Don't have to be 20 years or 10 years. 7 days enough. You know what I mean? It's like, it's mad. It's mad. But, anyway, yeah, like thinking about prisons and thinking that it's all happened about Marvin, isn't it? Marvin Herbert started off with Marvin, and talked about Marvin. And I talk, there's quite a lot of people that are on YouTube that have got their own channels, and I sometimes listen to them talking about prison, and some of them have done about 6 months in prison. They ain't got a clue. They don't know what prison is. They ain't got a clue. Do you know what I mean? They ain't got a clue what prison's about. Even doing maybe a 5-year sentence, you ain't got a clue what prison's about. 10, 15, 20 years, you got a clue what prison's about, because prison's about, if you're anti-prison, when I say anti-prison, you don't like it, no one likes it, but if you're against the system as such, yeah, and you won't let them bully you, and then you go through the hard times of prison, because then they can rule you. They take over, mate. They take over. They took over me. It doesn't matter how big you are, how strong you are. You're one person to thousands and thousands of screws that can come on you at any time. You can be big time Charlie Potatoes out on the street, but try and be big time Charlie Potatoes whilst you're in prison. You might be for a while. They'll let you run for a while, and all of a sudden crash on you. In my time, do you know what? The greatest experience I've ever seen and had was when you first get put away, like me in the 60s, and prison officers then was prison officers. This was always there like that, always down like that over their eyes, always. And they used to look at you like that, not like that, like that, all down there like that, yeah. And they were big, powerful men, all ex-military police, all dealt with the hardest people in military prisons, and then they come into a prison treating you like they did military prisoners. They would even take their hat off, right, go in a cell with you and have a fight. Big, powerful. I also know some big, powerful screws, yeah. Not know to talk to personally out the street, but in prison. Big, powerful screws, mate. Black, jet black uniforms with a blue shirt, jet black tie, with the hats right down here. Military as anything, mate. Didn't care, and you got certain screws. I can only remember, as it happens, I can only remember one that was really bad. That was Ryan from Wandsworth. I don't remember others. Ryan from Wandsworth. I remember the gym screws and all that, Taylor, but Ryan from Wandsworth was the worst screw ever. He's nicked more people and hurt more people than any man in the prison system, I should think. I've got Johnson, all PTIs I know, because you're wrapped around PTIs. The PTI is my thing, to be in the gym, yeah? But the screws, I remember who was it? No, Hooper, yeah, Hooper from Ashford. He was fucking, what he done was terrible. But I remember scrubs, yeah? Where I used to live, I lived in that, obviously I come from Acton, and behind a, a, a school called Faraday. It's now the King Fahd School, yeah? But behind that school there was a load of flats. And behind in the flats was screws. All where the screws lived. There was about 10 blocks of flats, 4-story high, all screws lived in there. And there was all that push bikes going back and forth and work. Some had cars, but there was all bad people. And I know another school called Bell, something Bell. I used to be in a school called John Perrin School in Acton, not far from the Scrubs. And I used to go out as a kid with a girl called Lynn Bell, blonde. You're only 10, 11, but you like when we first start dating. And her name was Lynn Bell, but everybody wanted to be around her. She was so beautiful, yeah. And her dad was a screw in the Scrubs. And I can remember being in the Scrubs and in my YP, no, in my Borstal B wing. And this screw was on called Bell. Blonde, or dark blonde. And I was sort of like, you didn't want to, in them days, you couldn't even talk to a screw. You couldn't talk to yourself. Do you know what I mean? But because, you hear his name, I had to talk to him, even though I was going to get myself in serious shit. And I walked there, he was standing by the offices. And I walked there and I said, excuse me. I said, is your name Bell? He looked at me, he went, why's that? I said, well, you got a daughter called Lynn Bell. Fucking hell, mate. I got the biggest hiding. I got the biggest hiding as a Borstal boy that you could have. They smashed me to pieces about the screws. It's as if I was saying about his daughter and I was going to go around the house and kill him or whatever, But I couldn't even get it out, what I wanted to say, and it was too late. And they smashed me to pieces. But I can remember screws in A-Wing that short, I forget his name, I'll have to find out his name, short, stocky screw. He was the governor in Wandsworth, mate. He was the governor in Albany. I can be Albany, sorry, in the Scrubs, yeah. He was the governor of the screws. He could really have it. Short, stocky, cap down there. Always wanted trouble. Always looking for it. And I've seen him come out of people's cells, slam the door and walk away. And in them days it's quite hard to go up to the doors, look for the spy and all that, but come out of his dinner or his breakfast or whatever, and you see him all smashed to pieces. And this screw would go in the cell and bash you up. Would go in and bash you up. But also, screws in my days, in the early times, would go in your cell for a fight. And if they come out second best, they come out after, give the act to another screw, go in the cell and have a fight with you. If they come out second best, and then you'd hear, during the night, the door open up and they go in there and smash the guy to pieces, so you don't win. But, they would go in the cell and have a fight. So the experience of that must be lovely if someone comes in your cell like that, so well, you know what I mean? I know, you might bash him up, but you might get bashed up later, but it's a still nice feeling, isn't it? And, and it was strict. It was strict. So you talk to the old boys, the old boys, who've been away for quite some time. They used to talk like, because they weren't allowed to talk. They weren't allowed to talk. And exercise yard used to have a lot walk round to the right, and a lot walk round to the left, and a lot walk round to the right, and you could never talk to each other. You could have all single files walking round. Yeah, mate. Prison in them days was like prison. And it was always 4 up in a cell, and it was always dirty dingy cells, dirty blankets, sheets, pillowcases, everything was filth. It stunk. It was all, everyone slopped out. Everybody slopped out. There was parcels chucked out the window. A lot of parcels chucked out the window, and there's also a lot of slopping out. Metal. It wasn't plastic pots. In my days, it was aluminium pots. Yeah, aluminium with the lids. It's crazy, isn't it? When you first go away, to see that. And I must say, I'm one of the only ones left who can imagine that. That's what I'd love to do, a proper one like Terry Ellis is doing, but in the old days, in the days where they give you a job, and your job would be in a noddy shop. Yeah, noddies, like Mickey Mouse and all the noddies, everything. Everything to do with Mickey Mouse's and Walt Disney, you'd go in that shop, and your job would be to paint them. You might have a job of painting the ears, black or red or whatever, that should be yours and you pass it on, but you have to do so many hundreds in a day to get paid, and your pay would be about 1 and 6 or 5 shillings or 2 shillings, In them days, money, mate, was madness. It was mad, you know what I mean? It was crazy what you used to get paid. And the food in them days was just about, you'd give it to a pig, but you survive, innit? You got to survive, and it's, then you get, I think prison, right, can make you a worse thief than you are when you get on the street, because you've got to thieve everything in prison to survive. Food, you've got to try and nick food all the time, nick out the hot plate when they put it in the hot plate, and, when they get ready for it, you've got to try and get in the hot plate and nick food out of there. To survive, and I always remember when I was yacht plate, and I went down to this is Wandsworth prison, yeah, where you used to go downstairs to the kitchen, under the centre, right, and the centre, you couldn't even walk around. You walk around that, you get killed. There's only 2 people that I can remember that had the licence to walk around there, was Frankie Fraser and Roy Shaw. That's the only 2 I can remember walking around. There might be loads of people tried, and loads of people got fucking killed for it. You're not allowed to tread on that. It's like, well, you just can't do it. But under there, under the centre, was the kitchen. Right? So you had to come out your wing and go downstairs to get all your grub, and it comes up that way, yeah? And it's madness. So anyway, I've nicked a big tray of ham of one of the barrows. Now, I'm running up the stairs, gets it in the cell, and all the alarms go off because they notice someone's nicked something. Now, little screws are banging everybody up. Crash, all of us in the plate. Bang, bang, bang. So I put it in my mate's cell. Now, my mate is shouting out the window, quick, and everyone's now chucking lines across to other cells. And my mate of mine is putting it in bags or socks or anything and tying it up so they can get it out to other cells. It was mad. And I think that to do a series about Wandsworth Prison or Scrubs, and to have things like bath when you first come in prison, yeah, to go into the bathhouse in the reception is an experience that you couldn't believe, where they had a broom handle with a black rim around it at the bottom, 2 inches or 3 inches, yeah. When I put that in the water, 2 inches of hot and 1 inch of cold, right? That'd be it. And that bath would bath 10 people, and then they'd empty it out. You think I'm joking? There ain't many people that have done this, mate. When you go there, and you go to the bathhouse to have a bath, and they might have 4, 5, 6 baths there, with like nothing, no things at the front, just at the sides, so you can't see the other geezers in the bath, so you can pass you something. It's like bathhouse, yeah? And say you're the first one, you get stripped off, there's a screw there, you get stripped off, you get in the bath, a couple of minutes, put up a quick wash, out. Dry, get yourself out. Another one comes in after you. But what you got to do before you get in that bath, you've got to go to the toilet. You've got to have a wee, or what you've got to do, a poo or whatever, right? But you can imagine if you're having a poo, like toilet paper in prison in them days was like tracing paper. So to try and wipe your arse with it, it'd slide out your back. It's virtually impossible. That's why all the pants that you got in prison, right, through reception when you come in, were all dirty. Washed, because in them days, where it's all washed in the, oh, look at me, so this is what it's like, isn't it? So when you go in the laundry, everything which goes in the laundry, in them days, there was no big boilers, no big boiler houses as such, yeah? So hot water was very rare in them days, not after it was quite, then they modernised it a bit. So even in the laundry, there wasn't that much hot water. So everything was washed. Our people didn't die of all sorts of diseases, I don't know, maybe they did. You know, get scabies and whatever it is, all that, you know. When you go in reception, your pants, you can see the marks in the back of the pants where they ain't washed them properly, but it's all stained, and the t-shirts are stained in the shirt. This is what it is, prisoners like, you know, when you first go in there. So when you go in the bathhouse, and they put that stick in, 2 inches of hot, inch of cold, because they know, you know, what it is, and it ain't that warm, mate, believe. You sit in that bath, and you've got to go to the toilet before you go in there. So if you want to go to poo as well, imagine, can't you? You go in the toilet, have a poo, you can't really wipe it because of tracing paper. It's all poo anyway. You got to get in the bath, you have a quick wash, it's all poo in the bath. You're not allowed to wee. If you've got wee in the bath, you're fucking in trouble. Really in trouble. You wee, you get bashed to pieces. Bashed up, mate. Yeah. So everyone goes to the toilet before they get in the bath, right? But that baths 10 people. So you can imagine the state of that bath even after 3 or 4 people. It's filthy, filthy dirty. You know, the poo and the stink and the sweat and whatever it is, and the foreskins and all that in the bath. It is what it is. And that's how prison was in my days. It's unbelievable. And used to get, right, your bedding used to be 15, 20 foot high of beddings. Like the outer bed spread, or goes on top of the bed, a couple of blankets and bits and pieces, and a pillowcase or whatever, it all be on top of the thing. And you got to pull it out. And when you've got all your other kits rolled up in it, you smell it, mate, and you think, wow, where's this come from? You've just come from the street or from whatever, and you smell when you walk in and you've got nice clothes on, and you walked out of there, and you've got your clothes, you've got your bedding. It's as if you just come out of a pigsty, and then you've got to go in a cell that is a pigsty. You know what I mean? I should do a Channel 4 prison, what it was like in my days, you know, and food was like, you wouldn't believe it, mate. Yeah, the food was, sometimes certain bits of the food was corned beef hash, was quite nice, you know. Bacon was the worst bit of bacon. Scrambled egg was powdered egg, come from the war. Come from the war, because in the war, they used to give the soldiers powdered egg, yeah? And that's what it is. That's rations. You got powdered egg rations, yeah? So in the ones of the Scrubs or Vixen or the Ville or something like that, you get powdered egg to make the scrambled egg. It's still scrambled egg when you get it, but it's done by powdered egg, yeah? And, you know, as some foods in prison, like apple crumbles and things like that are nice, yeah? But and puddings, you get puddings in prison, or in my times, was the best food ever. But the other foods, you do want to eat it. You know what I mean? It's diabolical. But this all started with Marvin Herbert, isn't it? But anyway, it's like, it's just something you go through. But I would really love to do a Channel 4 thing about prisons in my time to let people know what prisons are about. None of that sitting around a table having your food, mate, sitting down and having cups of tea and all that kind of, mate. Oh, no. You never know that, bud. You never had none of that. You had people sitting on their bed, eating their food, and fucking spitting and splutting and farting everywhere, yeah? And roll-ups. I forget the name of it, Black Bomb or something, or Brown something. If you had Gold Virginia or something like that, you was well off, yeah? But a lot of that crap you had was people smoking in the cell. When you don't smoke, you go in the cell and they've got to shut the window because it's so cold in there. And also you've got pipes in there. You might have 2 pipes or 1 pipe. And people get an extra jug of tea, which is like cocoa, with skim on it. They put it on the pipe to try and keep it warm so you can have a cup of tea later. Right? And the pipe you put it on is warm. And that pipe is the worst pipe you could ever experience. Not just because it's cold, because you've got nutcases in there that just want to aggravate all night, tapping on the pipe. Everybody's shouting, I'll kill you, but no one knows who it is because it's right along. And they go, so fucking so-and-so. And this geezer ain't me. And he knows in the morning he's going to get a terrible good hiding because it ain't him, but they're saying it's him, because they want him to get a good hiding. It's like, oh, mate. And other things, it goes on and on this. It's prison in the days, and you go in the toilet in the recess, you got a slop out, big granite stone lockout thing where all the poo goes into, and then you got toilets, maybe 3 toilets or 2 toilets in there, old-fashioned toilets like 19th century, with a door cut down, and you got 2 toilets in there. You got 100 people trying to use the toilet, and you only got a certain amount of time. Oh, what? It's a joke. It's a joke, mate. And when you go in your cell, you feel like you've got a toilet, and you've got no paper in your cell, you've got to do it in the pot. You've got to do it in the aluminium pot. You've got 1 pot. You've got to do it in that pot. You can imagine, can't you? You've got 1 pot. You've got poo in that pot with wee, right? And you got, and the guy might want to wee in there, and you've got to go in and wee on your poo. You can imagine the smell of it, mate. And a lot of them, this is what used to make me laugh about, but also about prison. When you go in a cell, when you empty your whatever, your sheet, and it all comes out, plate or everything, or whatever it is, or knife and fork. In my days, you used to get metal knife and forks and a spoon. Anyway, right, let's talk. So you get a plastic cup. Usually you get a big plastic cup, but a lot of people get the little plastic cup. It's like gold dust. Everyone wants a little one, yeah? But because they know what goes on in the big one. The little one's the best to get. Because the big cup, right, if you don't want to poo in the piss pot, in that aluminium poo pot, what a lot of used to do was pee in their cup and chuck it out the window. Swear up my life. So when you're getting your kits and you get, they don't wash nothing, you're getting that cup and that geezer might have pooed it. Might could have even pooed in that cup or weed in that cup and thrown it. And I'm surprised not more people died. I can remember Wandsworth Prison. Mad. I can remember Wandsworth Prison. Me on the ground floor, waking up to 2 inches of wee and poo flowing around the basement, flowing all over, where the sewers are burst, and it's all come back up the toilets, everything. It's all fucking on the ground floor. Sorry, poo like you wouldn't believe. It's everywhere. It's coming out of every toilet, everything. It's all fucking everywhere. And the worst thing about it is they sort it out years later, but when the sewer goes and it bursts, it's going through a graveyard. The sewer pipe goes through a graveyard, and they're not allowed to dig up the graves. So you can imagine, it's murders in there. You know, they eventually obviously do because but you got us people. They ask them, listen, we give you X amount of money, right, to clean all this up. And people want that money to buy tobacco and soap and toothpaste. So they're only too pleased to get it. But your job, right, is to clean up all this poo. It's fucking crazy. Poo running around, flying around like fish. And wee everywhere. It's all in cells, it stinks, the whole wing stinks, the whole nick stinks. Imagine that. And that happens in Wandsworth. I was there when it happened. It's mad. Anyway, it can go on and on and on. Anyway, I'd love to do it on Channel 4. Bang, bang, my old good morning, yeah? Nice one.